Hey, Mrparka here to review a new one. It is Primordial, and this is by director Eric Whiting. He did the movie Hellhounds, which was like kind of a unique, surreal, experimental, like kind of crazy, I guess, semi-extreme movie. And I didn't absolutely love the movie, but it was very interesting. And interesting in today's independent horror scene or independent movie scene is better a lot of times than even good, because seeing something interesting always gives me hope that the director's going to make something I absolutely love. And you know what? This one I dug quite a bit. I really enjoyed it. This movie is actually 2 hours long, if you can believe it. And I've always been, I've heard the saying, you get 90 minutes, and each minute after that you have to earn it. So I'm kind of a stickler on time for films. And you know what? I enjoyed it thoroughly, even at 2 hours long, which is kind of crazy. This movie is about a woman who's kind of, she feels isolated from society. She's down on her luck. She can't find a job. And she feels alienated. And most of the time, the people she comes in contact with are really rude, just bad people. The only person, her only source of light in her life is played by Erin Ryan. And the main actress is Mary Lee Osborne, and she is fantastic in this movie, as is Erin Ryan. And for the most part, most of the acting in this movie is fantastic. I think the acting really drives this movie along.
I don't even know what they want from me, right? I mean, I go out there, and I work my ass off. All in's the same. It doesn't even matter.
Have you tried any of the grocery stores?
Yeah, I've been to fucking all of them, right? Talk to the managers, and they always say, you know what, it's good. We're gonna call you, They never call, Tina. They never fucking call, right? Assholes. If I would have went to nursing school like I originally planned, you remember, right? I wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit. None of it. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, you are not a failure. You know that, right?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to have this big fucking pity party. I just needed to vent, and you, my love, are the only one that I can do that with.
And she becomes kind of intertwined with this criminal element, and she starts becoming more savage, less human. She starts losing her humanity. The film early on sets up that she's an unstable person that kind of has a dark side to her, and as it progresses, she embraces that dark side. The film story, like I said, is kind of it's unique. I mean, as far as like the psychological stuff, I enjoy, and her visions and things like that. But the typical crime element is very so-so, I think. But really, what drags the story on, and in the script where it really shines, is the human interaction in this movie. That's what I think brings this movie forward and makes me really love it. Has a lot of characters I actually really liked, and were really well thought out and developed. And the actors and actresses in this movie really brought them to life, as well as the editing. I think the editing's really good in this movie, and the director of this movie actually usually edits movies. He edited a bunch of Henrik Koda's movies, and it shows, as well as the camera angles and the cinematography. I think that there's some unique camera shots in here too. It's got that kind of gritty look I kind of like, a little grittier than a lot of other independent movies nowadays, and I dig that. I've always dug kind of like the more guerrilla style filmmaking in a lot of aspects, like just taking the camera out and just getting shots with the person walking and driving down the street and things like that. I like that kind of stuff. That's always been more my forte than something really super polished and low budget. I do enjoy those sometimes. I love them sometimes, but most of the time I'm kind of a gritty, down and dirty kind of guy for my independent films. And like I said, this movie's really driven by the performances and the characters. There's a character, the crime element she becomes involved with. She kind of befriends some of them. Some of the others are a little too crude even for her. Are played by Adam Clevenger, Titus Wolverton, and I know Adam Clevenger, Josh Miller, of course, but I can't remember the fourth guy's name. But they really establish a good bad guy squad, and I've always been a huge fan of bad guys and goons and just these. I've always been more likely to enjoy the bad guys, just because that's just growing up. I've always liked the bad guys, and I can tell this director definitely likes the bad guys too, as a couple of the characters' last names are Bodiger. You guys will remember, you guys will know Bodiger from Clarence Bodiger from RoboCop, who's probably one of the best baddies of all time. Regardless, I just loved the goonage here, I guess I'll call it. These guys were Tayshaun, the character of Tayshaun was brilliant. Just I've known people like that, and it's very rare that I see characters in movies that are just real.
We get assholes in here. I get to confront them. Go straight go mode.
Oh, all right.
When I'm in go mode, I don't give a fuck. Somebody comes up on me, I'm gonna break them. They're gonna try to break me. Get to be a whole other person. It's like I'm looking down at somebody else.
Oh.
Like the man says, I don't feel turkey.
What was that?
Can't believe you don't get me. You don't listen to Van Halen?
I have listened to Van Halen for about 10 years. So, so what is your drunk ass going on about?
Well, I can't believe you don't get me. Van Halen, hot for teacher. The clock is slow. I don't feel turkey.
Are you thinking of I don't feel tardy?
No, I know the fucking words. What the fuck would say I don't feel... Fuck tardy.
You're right. Who the fuck would say, I don't feel turkey?
It's gotta be turkey. My friends and I have been saying that since middle school.
Yeah, you and your friends have been wrong since middle school, okay? Just by chance, was the bus you guys rode in on a little short?
Fuck you!
And I love that. Like I said, in the end climax, they build these characters up for 2 hours, and then, of course, something horrible happens and a major trigger happens, and people die. So it's that kind of movie where there's a lot of character drama, character interactions, and things like that, and then there's a good payoff at the end. The film has some oh my god moments. I was actually jaw-dropped at a couple times in here. One of the sex scenes is pretty extreme, and I was just like, wow. I was kind of taken back, like I said. And always on progressive cinema if there's a reason for it. I always love it. Not always, but I enjoy progressive cinema when there's a reason for the craziness. The movie does have some metal in the soundtrack. Also another score. There's actually a score in the movie as well, which I think is pretty cool. But the metal in the music, I'm not big on metal in movies like that when it's thrown in there. But for here, it actually works at points. It's more sort of during montage scenes and things like that. So to me, it wasn't distracting. I thought it worked. I thought it was cool. Like I said, not my super type of music. There was a couple moments in here of comedy that I think are a little kind of bizarre and unneeded, out of place maybe. Maybe the character of the weird neighbor played by the director, and the guy at the party who's like, hey cutie. I just thought that was, although funny, although kind of just strange and out of place for this movie. But like I said, a really good cast in here, really good performances. I'm trying to think. You got Osborne, Aaron Ryan, Allison Egan, small role by Haley Madison, Josh Miller, who does fantastic in this as a heartless, horrible human being, Adam Clevenger, Titus Wolverton, and just a lot of people, Joni Durian, a lot of people that I've actually had the great chance to know in person, and they do a fantastic job in this movie. So I will say I'm biased on some of the performances, I guess, because you know, seeing these people act in other movies and actually working with them and things like that. But regardless, I was really impressed with it, and I wasn't so sure. I mean, like I've watched a lot of independent movies, and I do kind of get tired of seeing the same movie over and over again. I do see it, and just in general in cinema altogether, I see the same movie over and over again. But this was refreshing, more so surreal kind of experimental crime drama with real horrific elements in it. The ending scene is very mean-spirited to me. It's just, and actually pretty scary. The last couple seconds, I'll say, or last couple minutes. But anyways, I'd say check this one out. There'll be a link to purchase it below. I'm rambling completely, but I really enjoyed the scene. Some good camera work, great acting, and some good performances in here. Great acting, and some good characters in here, I'll say. But I'm Mrparka. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.
come this